every way.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra, Hits 103.9 FM Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We're live in all 16 regions of Ghana, Radio Max in Takrady, ATL FM in Cape Coast, Kekeli Radio in Ho. We're live on X Spaces, we're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, John Mahama's transition team disputes President Akufo-Addo's claim that Ghana's economy is back to pre-COVID-19 era of growth. Details as it says it is poised to work hard to address economic challenges.
We in the NDC are under no illusions whatsoever about the task that we face. We know that we are inheriting a shattered economy. Our finances are in disarray and that it is going to take real hard work.
Also this afternoon, scores of NDC supporters mass up at the police training school in Accra, demanding recruitment into the service following the electoral victory on Saturday. We are live there, plus the EC coalition has been moved to that centre for the Eastern region. And in the Ashanti region, Bantama NDC parliamentary candidates and party members stormed the Metro Mass station to prevent vandalism of buses.
We are here to protect the government property. We are here to protect this institution from sinking. We have to sell the buses because we need this job alive. We need to create jobs for the youth.
And as Christmas approaches, deadly road crashes are on the rise in the central region. 3 have been killed while 20 are critically injured after 2 fully loaded passenger buses collided at Gomwa, Ochireko.
The accident has cost the lives of 3 people. 20 of them are seriously injured and are responding to treatment at Trauma Specialist Hospital.
We're live there, and in the Oti region, residents have set ablaze a vehicle belonging to the Ghana Immigration Service after it crashed 2 persons dead in Kajebi.
This no girl will die, they pain me. Oh, Charlie.
We have details of that and hear from the National Road Safety Authority on measures to minimize the carnage ahead of the Christmas festivities. There's sports.
Well, Ghana's Black Maidens are set to feature in their first competitive game in 2 years after serving that 2-year ban for age cheating.
That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu, and this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please do stay on for details.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, Chopbox Technology, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, alternative therapy, dental, wellness and beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants (CIMA) and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants (AICPA), together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gaps for positive youth development. Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Deluxe Paints, Paints Mu Champion.
And your election headquarters also made possible by Magdan Group of Companies and Verna Water. This afternoon, the John Mahama transition team is disputing President Akufo-Addo's claim that Ghana has returned to the pre-COVID-19 era of growth. Speaking on Wednesday at the inauguration of the joint transition team, President Akufo-Addo expressed confidence that the economy has recovered to the state it was during his first term. However, the John Mahama transition team disagrees, insisting that much work is needed to address the country's current economic challenges. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
In his speech, President Akufo-Addo said for the first time Ghana has a female vice president. It is something the people must be proud of. President-elect John Mahama said the joint transition team is going to work together in the interest of Ghana for a seamless transition.
We can be sure that our democracy is safe and that working together across bipartisan lines we can continue to deepen and consolidate that democracy.
Later at the Accra International Conference Center, there was the inauguration of the joint transition team. In his speech, President Akufo-Addo said the economy has returned to the pre-COVID era of growth, expressing confidence that the economy is back to what it was like in his first term.
President-elect, Your Excellency, you'll be happy to learn that the Minister of Finance has just informed me on my way here The third quarter results of the economy has been established. Growth of 7.2%, making an average rate of the growth of the first 3 quarters at 6.3%. We are indeed back to the pre-COVID era of growth in my first term.
But President-elect John Mahama seemingly disagreed with the president, urging the joint transition team to work with a modest budget considering the current economic situation.
We call on the transition team to work expeditiously and within a modest budget, given the prevailing economic circumstances. Even though Mr. President seems to strike a very upbeat tone on recent numbers, I'm sure the transition team would establish that.
That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba with that report. I'll get to him shortly at the Accra International Conference Centre as the transition team resumes work today. We can hear from spokesperson of the John Mahama transition team, Felix Kwachiofosu, who disputes the claim that the economic situation has been resolved.
We are nowhere near the pre-COVID era. We do not accept that COVID in any event is an excuse for where we find ourselves. I think the Ghanaian people agree with us. That is the reason why they voted so overwhelmingly for us at the polls. And we are poised to take on the mandate of addressing the economic issues. But I think that it is a bit of a stretch to suggest that suddenly we are out of the woods and that the economic problems have been resolved. They have not been resolved. We still are unable to repay our debts. Inflation is quite high. The exchange rate still remains steep and unbearable. The hardships are severe. Then, as you know, Christmas is just around the corner, and the hardships are going to impede the ability of Ghanaians to enjoy Christmas as they should. We all know that businesses are struggling, and the general economy is not in good shape. So President Mahama is right when he disagrees with the assertions of the president. I don't think that it is entirely accurate for anyone to suggest that the economy is in better shape than before. It is not, and we have to be realistic and candid in these matters. We in the NDC are under no illusions whatsoever about the task that we face. We know that we are inheriting a shattered economy. Our finances are in disarray, and that it is going to take real hard work to get us out of the doldrums that we find ourselves presently.
The John Mahama side of the transition team also raised objections to last-minute recruitments and payment on the first day of work by the joint transition team.
For instance, we have picked up information. Indeed, we've seen documentation relating to efforts to pay over 240 million Ghana cedis to an entity that is supposed to have done some business with the Electricity Company of Ghana. Now, if this was being paid to IPPs so that they could keep the power on, one perhaps would not have any issue. But it is being paid to an entity whose work, in my view, is not as critical as IPPs. Now, this sort of payment is quite huge. So the NDC side of the transition team requested that this payment be put on hold pending further scrutiny and discussion to ascertain, first of all, the basis for the payments. The government side agreed to put it on hold pending further discussions at the next meeting of the transition team on Friday. There is precedent. In December 2016, the MPP side, through Mr. Osafo, requested that any such commitments regarding recruitments or payments be made only with the express approval of the incoming government. So we are surprised that that same precedent is not being adhered to.
That's Felix Kwachiofosu, is a spokesperson for the John Mahama transition team. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba joins us on the line with what the president-elect John Mahama is doing today and what exactly the transition team is up to. What can you tell us, Maxwell?
Well, the president-elect has been receiving various groups paying courtesy calls on him at his residence today. We've had delegations from the European Union, the Algerian embassy in Ghana, and now the Chinese embassy in Ghana, led by the ambassadors. Now, key amongst what has come up here is congratulatory messages received from these groups by the president-elect. There have been discussions also about how collaborations can happen to consolidate Ghana's democratic gains. The president-elect has also made known his intentions and the intentions of the incoming government to investigate the circumstances surrounding the deaths of some persons in this year's elections and previous ones. John Mahama says if this government doesn't commission an investigation, the incoming government will. Now, more interest groups are expected to pay courtesy calls on him today. Now, like you rightly mentioned, another aspect of this transition period is the sitting of the Joint Transition Committee. Sitting will continue on Friday. So on Friday, the committee will converge at the Accra International Conference Centre to continue with what they started yesterday and as well.
Well, and we'll be checking on that. That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba giving us update on what the president-elect is up to, and of course the transition team as well. Already they've blocked some payment, some 240 million Ghana cedi payment to the electricity company of Ghana. They're also raising concerns about last-minute recruitment. We'll bring you more on that. Well, let me take you now to the police training school in Tesano here in the Greater Accra region, where the Electoral Commission has this afternoon moved a coalition of disputed results in some constituencies in the eastern region too, to avoid the chaotic scenes witnessed previously. We've heard from the Nsawama Dwejiri MP, Frank Anodompre, the NPP candidate for the area, calling on President Akufo-Addo to hold the transition process until a logical conclusion is reached on the matter. My colleague Sweetie Abochi is there at the police training school here in Tesano and joins us on the line with more. Let's talk about the coalition today. How has it been so far?
Well, Emefa, I'm currently at the Tesano Police Training School, where there's an altercation between the NDC and NPP agents at the collation center. I recall that the collation center was moved from Isawam because of the burning of some of the sensors over there to this place here, the police training school. Now, the argument is that the NDC agents are not present, but collation is ongoing, and they don't understand how they are collating results without their agent presence with the pink sheet. We also saw the IGP around. I'm unsure what he's doing here exactly, but we also spoke to some agents. In fact, we spoke to Samuel Wuku, who was explaining that what they're doing is illegal, and so they had to wait or halt the whole process for the NDC agents to come with the pink sheet before they go ahead. But it's still quite chaotic over there. I stepped out to speak to you, and hopefully maybe the IGB can go in there and restore some calm. But that's what we have here so far.
How many constituencies are in dispute such that the coalition will be done today at the police training school here in Accra?
Well, we only saw 3 in Nsawama Dwejiri. Just a second, Emefa. Well, just about 3. I'm unsure right now because I didn't take note, but there are 3 constituencies that are being collated, results that are being collated. Akwetia is one, Nsawama Dwejiri, and Infanti Akwa. Yeah, those 3.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Sweetie Abochi there giving us update from the coalition here at the police training school in Tesano. We also heard earlier about some NDC supporters also massing up there. She's checking on that for us. As and when we get more, we'll bring that to you. But the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Bantama, Simon Adai-Dapa, and some party members have also stormed the Kumasi depot of the Metro Mass Transit to stop unidentified individuals from stealing parts of faulty buses. Over 70 of the faulty and abandoned vehicles parked at the depot have been rendered scraps. There's more in the following report.
Few days after the December 7 polls, some state institutions have come under attack. In the Ashanti region, Kumasi Metro Mass Transit was attacked by some individuals who have been vandalizing and selling parts of buses grounded due to mechanical faults. The parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the Bantama constituency spoke to Joy News.
We are here to protect the government property. We are here to protect this institution from sinking. We are to sell the buses because we need this job alive. We need to create job for the youth. That's why we are telling them not even the boat will leave this premises today, because we have to make sure we inject into this business, create more jobs and then employment for our people. We have around 79 buses they've sold, which was about to be sold as scrap, and then people were about to move it. But we've made sure they are not moving. We've heard that from last night up to this morning, they've moved around 60 buses from these premises. They've sold all. The 79 is still around. They were yet to be cut as scrap. But then right now, what they've sent out already, what they've sold out as scrap is almost 60 from last night up to this time. Knowing they are going to opposition, they want to collapse this institution. And then that's what we are fighting against.
The Metro Security Coordinator Alhaji Naj says the act of hooliganism should not be allowed.
This time round, I am telling you, I swear, and you're the Ebepinia Masadi.
Sababi for the Mama Sanyo Manakoso, Bantima for Yenia Break. Again, I say, number of Bantima, MPP for the same Mutimi Creative. I come in the Pena and they had insurance. And to my dream is a Mubuguno, no more Sano, no more Quasania Baya, Bantima for ye, but Bravo Bantima, I in your Bantima for your same.
For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwa Kumasi.
Let me stay a while longer in the Ashanti region. This time the mood remains mixed depending on respondents' political affiliation, but residents generally have their hopes high of the John Mahama administration, especially in employment creation, implementation of the 24-hour economy and the Nkukon Kitinkiti policies, as they put it. Clinton Yeboah gauged the mood on the streets of Kumasi and filed this report.
Just right behind me is a trotro station with cars buzzing with noise in my ears. This is to indicate how back they are to their daily routine. Markets are opened, shops are opened, and street hawkers are also back on the streets. But the air in the space are filled with mixed emotions. So let's just get into conversations with others. What do you think generally of the outcome of the elections?
I am so happy. I feel less burdened, and for this victory, I drink to express the joy.
What people think generally about the results of the 7th December elections certainly will not change life in the next 4 years. However, they shared their expectation of the coming government.
I am expecting the John Mahama will not remove yet to be absorbed nurses and replace us with NDC fanatics.
Dear Tosso, Sa Akoko Kitikitino, Mr. John Mahama, me wo your first if you are, maybe on my factory man, me will put a full plot.
From Kumasi in the Ashanti region, my name is Clinton Yeboah, reporting for Joy News.
Let's head back to the Greater Accra region, and many of you have been experiencing power outages over the period, with many of you taking to your social media platforms to talk about it, about the situation in your area. Well, let's gather around because my colleague Kofi J. Minta joins me in the studios with updates of what we are hearing. We've heard from WAPCO about some shutdowns amongst others. Kofi, what do we know?
Well, so Emefa, this is the latest grid report, and we have every detail. And currently, if we look at the country's peak demand, it's around 3,788 megawatts. And if you look at the grid report we have so far, we are doing 2,659, which means we are 30% below the peak demand level. If you compare it to the dependable capacity, we are 44% below that. And in fact, if you look at the amount of energy that, ECG and Gridco had to share at the moment, it's 1,129 megawatts of power. Let's also look at some power plants that are currently down. If you look at the TT1PP, is down, it's producing at 0%, zero at the moment. Senate Power is 0. Siemens is also 0. If you look at TE66, the T31 is also 0. And then Amandi is 0, and then the last one is the Bridge Power, which is also 0. So 7 power plants are currently not producing. If you care to know the power plant or which installation is keeping the country at the moment, then there's Akosombo, which is producing 780 megawatts, and then also we have the Car Power Ship, which is also producing 433. So this is the situation at the moment, producing 30% below our peak demand.
I bet you've been trying to find out how long this will linger and when the situation will be resolved.
Absolutely.
Did you find anything? Did you find anything?
Well, it will be difficult because this is, fluctuating. We may have to study the data in a week's time to know the actual study.
Well, we'll be waiting for you to study that and bring us more on this. Let's take a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra, Hits 103.9 FM, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We're live in all 16 regions, kind courtesy of our affiliate dotted across the country. We're live on X Spaces, we're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams. We've been hearing from the John Mahama transition team disputing President Akufo-Addo's claim that Ghana's economy is back to the pre-COVID-19 era of growth. Details as it says it is poised to work hard to address economic challenges. They've also been blocking some payment and raising consent about last-minute recruitment. When we return from the break, I'll bring you sports, and as Christmas approaches, deadly crashes are on the increase, and it's our Drive Safe campaign, hoping that you stay safe on the road, because in the central region alone, 3 people have been killed while 20 are critically injured after 2 fully loaded passenger buses collided at Gomwa Ochreko.
The accident has cost the lives of 3 people. 20 of them are seriously injured and are responding to treatment at trauma specialist hospital.
And then I'll take you to the Oti region where residents have set ablaze a vehicle belonging to the Ghana Immigration Service after it crashed 2 persons in Kajebi.
This no girl will die, they pay me. Oh, Charlie.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Thanks for staying with us. It's time for sports. Victor Achutamaklo is here.
Hi, Emefa.
Hi.
The Black Maidens are set to return to competitive action 2 years after they are banned for age cheating during the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, which also saw them fined an amount of $100,000. The new team has been diligently preparing at the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence ahead of the maiden edition of the WAFU Zone B Under-17 Girls Cup. Here's head coach of the team, Joe Nana Adakwa.
We've been camp for about 1 month, 2 weeks so far, and preparation is going on very, very well. So we are very, very ready for the tournament. As of now, I don't know much about them, but we are going to play the tournament. So as the tournament starts, we will know how everything plays. So we will be ready for any match. We are going to perform well and take the 3 points.
So that's Joe Nana Adakwa, head coach of the Black Maidens.
Well, the countdown to Christmas is on. Thank you so much, Victor. But already the country's roads are beginning to witness some deadly crashes. We'll start from the central region where 3 persons have been killed and 20 others are in critical condition this morning after 2 fully loaded passenger buses collided head-on at Gomwa Ochreko on the Accra Cape Coast Highway. The dead include 2 males and a female. All 20 injured persons are currently battling for their lives at the Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital. You can listen to an eyewitness narrating how the incident occurred.
We saw the Sprinter bus collide with the Hyundai Grace. From where I sat, I saw that the driver of the Hyundai tried to save everyone in his car by swerving, but to no avail. The Sprinter was coming at a top speed and hit the other car. 3 people died instantly. The rest are badly injured. This is all the fault of the Sprinter driver.
So that's an eyewitness there. We can hear from the Winneba Fire Service Commander, DO2 Frederick Edupoko, who's leading the rescue.
The report was that there had been an accident on the Winneba Kaswa Road. In fact, the address was at Ochreko Junction. At 6:32 hours, our men were dispatched to the scene. They got to the scene at 6:38 hours, meaning it took them just 7 minutes. So they were very swift. But when we got to the scene, it was noticed that there has been a head-on collision between a Sprinter bus who was heading from Kaswa to Winneba and a Hyundai Grace who was also heading from Winneba to Kaswa. In fact, the report is that the accident has cost the lives of 3 people. 20 of them are seriously injured and are responding to treatment at trauma and specialist hospital. That is the report we had this morning. The Sprinter bus that was heading from Kaswa, in fact, did a wrongful overtaking.
Well, in the Oti region, angry residents of Kajabi have set ablaze an immigration service vehicle which crashed 2 teenagers to death yesterday. Correspondent Peter Seno reports.
Enyemecho menusu megbona alebe mevado gorenu evua mekpo be vua yina alebe vua leke vua face la evua fiabe ele overtaking wo.
I was coming from Menso towards Kejebi. From the look of the vehicle, it was moving towards Kejebi, while those riding on the motorbike were riding towards Menso. It was clear from what I saw that the vehicle was overtaken. When I arrived at the scene, I realized the young man was dying. We later found the lady far away in the bush. I was far from the scene when I realized the vehicle was touched, but I cannot tell those who did it. I know the 2 who died. The rider was a motor mechanic apprentice, while the lady was a makeup artist apprentice, both at KJB. There was the presence of the fire service, but looked on helplessly since their tender was out of commission some months ago. They have declined comments on their presence and inability to do anything to save the situation.
Well, that's my colleague Peter Senu there reporting from the Oti region. So what exactly are the measures to minimize or prevent the seasonal crashes on our roads as the countdown for Christmas begins? Engineer David Safwa-Donting is the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Thankfully, he joins us on the line. So apart from these two separate incidents that we've already picked up, I guess the Commission has also heard of more of such crashes. Is that the case?
Okay, I think we have all been informed of the crashes on the Winneba Road, one in the Coastal region, another one in the Kumasi, and we are gathering all this information. Our team are on the ground, taking the signals, and then doing some investigation, engaging the people, the hospital, the police, the fire service, and the rest. I believe that moving forward, hopefully tomorrow onwards, we will come out with the details of the crashes, the information that we have got. We are analyzing, and then we will appropriately engage with it also to see how they will conduct their investigation to identify the circumstances that crashes, and then the culprits will be dealt with accordingly.
Whilst you reposition yourself, Engineer, we are hoping that we could hear what new measures will be rolled out as the countdown to Christmas begins to avoid some of these crashes.
Yes, before the election, the National Road Safety Authority and the police, we announced the strategy to deal with situations during the elections and beyond. So we combined elections and Christmas. We launched our program. And what we told the whole Ghana was that we are combining education and enforcement. We will be on the roads. We will be identifying drivers in particular who would be behaving, for that matter, not complying with the rules and regulations of the road. We will apprehend them, arrest and prosecute them.
Okay.
I think that is the ruthless strategy we are deploying because we have done all the education that we need to do. I think all those who are now creating problems for us are the ones we call recalcitrant. They do not want to obey the rules and the regulations. Just imagine how can, in this time that we have engaged drivers severally, do a wrongful overtaking. Some also speeding beyond. These are people who need not be pampered at all.
Okay, we are grateful. We'll leave it here for now and definitely we'll be engaging further on this. That's Engineer David Safwa-Donting, the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. You have a responsibility to stay safe on the road and adhere to road safety regulations. And just before we head out, we have the team in the studios. It's time for M&J, but it's what? J and K. So what's up? Every day people are changing names and everything. What's up? Right? What are people talking about?
Well, Emefa, you remember
saw the viral video after elections of people cutting off fridges and other stuff from a shop. I mean, it turns out that the shop owner actually had he had a bet with them to tell them that if Mahama wins, they should come into the shop and take whatever thing that they want. Yes, I know. So we spoke to a lawyer to find out the legal repercussions of that. Let's take a listen.
Looting is a criminal act and it goes against the rule of law. Therefore, these individuals will not be able to justify their actions post-election if it involves the looting or destruction of property, particularly state property. And, you know, with elections, we do expect people to be non-violent because of democracy, and they will be brought to book most likely because it will act as a deterrent for people in future. And everyone is equal before the law. So no, I don't believe that these individuals can justify themselves and say, well, it was post-election and the person said, if Mahama wins, you can come and take my property. At the end of the day, they weren't allowed to take the property. That's why they just took it by force. And this did involve a lot of destruction as well.
I mean, Emefa, some bets are serious.
So really, those who said you should ban them, you can't do that.
Yes, as against the law. People said a whole lot of stuff, you know. Well, away from that, Kofi.
Yeah, people are also talking about Sako there.
No, sir.
I was about asking him
if what's going on?
Okay, so Sako has a brand new song out. He released it yesterday, and it came with a video. The title of the song is No Sir, and the video features Ben South, you know, Ghanaian comedian Ben South, and Sheena Gakpe. You know her. She has a very nice Coca-Cola shape, and so the entire song is about cutting your coat according to your size. Ben South has nothing to write home about. He's broke and he's trying to handle.
A broke guy can handle.
Some things are for boy men only.
Okay, so that's what the song is about.
And honestly, very very important to mention that as of this morning, the song is on Apple Music's top 5. Apple Music Ghana top 5 already. Was at number 4 this morning. I checked. There's a Christmas banger.
So that's it. That's all we have today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Thank you, Kofi and Jackie. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. On Hits 103.9 FM, we bring you entertainment news. Here on Joy, we bring you Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabel. I am Emefa Apawu. No, sir.